love bows. I've always loved bows. When I was in school, I just wanted always a better bow. So I'm a little bit bow crazy. I decided to specialize just to make bass bows. Most bow makers don't want to make bass bows. You use twice as much material, it takes twice as much time to make, but it can produce the most glorious sound.
The bow is often just as important or more important than the actual instrument you have. Because this is where, all the heart and soul of the sound comes from, is everything you do with your right hand. I've been waiting for about 4 years for the wonderful bow maker, Sue Lipkins, to make me this bow. And I'm really, really lucky to have this bow.
I moved here in 1997. I was a single mom with Akira, my young son. His dad died when he was 6. So after I start a bow and the bow is roughed out, then we bend the stick to a camber, or the curve. We use a dry heat. When the bow is hot enough, I push down on the stick and get the curve. But at this stage, we need to tweak the camber. Right here, that's gonna be 9 millimeters. And let's see, right here, 9.5. I have small planes that I had specially made. This one has a little bit of curve on the bottom. It's very difficult to use a flat plane as there's so much curve. So let's see, I've got 9.5, so I'm gonna take a 0.5 millimeter off, and this, I got a ways to go. All right. I grew up in Queens, New York City. I was lucky to be in a junior high school that had a string program, and the teacher demonstrated each instrument and said, "Now, who wants to play the violin?" And I raised my hand, but he didn't call on me. Viola, didn't call on me. Cello, he didn't call on me, and the only instrument left was the bass, and it was a pure accident. I ended up really enjoying the bass and went to Juilliard. I have a bachelor's and a master's in performance on bass. But once I graduated, I couldn't get a job. I was schlepping the bass all over on the subway. Horrible. Then I got offered a job as a salesperson for the shop of William Salco, who taught most of the bow makers in this country. I thought, if Bill would agree to teach me bow making after hours, this is a skill I could use. And it was a fantastic training. So this is my horsehair. It comes from China. I try and get the best horsehair I can, but it's also how you put the hair in. The tension of the hair is really important. The Violin Society of America, every 2 years they hold a competition. And I started competing in 2002, didn't win anything. There was a kind of a looking down, oh, she makes bass bows. It's not that easy to get it in, especially in a bass bow. It was a struggle for a number of years. Then, slowly, my bows started to win certificates of merit. And then my entry won a gold medal. And I was so thrilled. And that was a glass ceiling broken because no woman had ever won a gold medal in that competition. Then the next competition, my bow won another gold medal. So they finally recognized my work as top-notch. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Ian.
How you doing?
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about what I'm gonna make for you. I do have a long waiting list for my bows. It's about 10 years long. One of the reasons is because I don't make bows very quickly. I really take my time. I have to make sure everything is perfect. How tall are you?
I am 5'11.9999.
Okay. I'm happy if I make 8 to 10 bows a year. How big are your hands?
There.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got
okay,
some
okay. Okay, very good. I know what I'm gonna make, right? And
I do want the full Sue Lipkins experience.
okay. You're gonna get it. I'm gonna start working on it very soon.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm looking for a blank, a bow blank that I will use for Ian Hallis. I want to give him a lot of camber, so I want to look for a piece of wood that's the right density and dark color. This is wild. This is a really wild wood. Most bow makers use Pernambuco wood. So one of the properties of Pernambuco, if you tap it, it sounds like a crystal goblet. So that was one. Hear the difference? It's amazing. This is good. If I can get this one to work, it'll be a beautiful bow. That's it. I chose. I met David in 1999 at the 2-week bow making and violin making workshop at Oberlin College. But I didn't know anything about him really, except like he's a violin maker.
I started to notice Sue, and at the end of the 2 weeks, I was able to get her email.
And I fell in love. David moved in here in 2002 when Akira was 11 and helped raise him in a beautiful way. He taught him how to be a man and gentle at the same time.
Several years ago, Sue wanted me to make a bass for her. I used this highly figured walnut and sized it all, accommodating the string length that she wanted.
One thing that the Juilliard training did for me, I can make assessments about what the bow will need. Wow. For the final camber and finishing. It's very interesting. I'm tempted to leave this bow just the way it is. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Lizzie got on my waiting list when she started Juilliard. So let's go upstairs.
All right, thank you.
What are you gonna play, Lizzie?
This is a piece called Sigh by Luciano Berio. I chose it because I thought it would show off the strengths of your bow really well.
I thought for sure I would get to her bow before she graduated, but it didn't happen. Finally, her name came to the top of the list, and it just so happened it was right before she was getting married, so it was a very exciting thing to make a wedding bow. I want to make the best bow out of that piece of wood. I want to do it justice. That's what I strive to do. But I'm still learning, and that's the beauty of bow making. Yeah, really
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Of course,
Yeah.
thank you.